How many 5-star books are we going to read in this video? I'm hoping a lot. Welcome back to Francesca's Books. My name is Francesca, these are my books, and here we talk about all things thriller books. And in this vlog, I'm going to be reading my most anticipated reads that I'm predicting are going to be a 5-star. And even if we don't find those magical 5 stars, I have no doubt these will be really good books for you to take recommendations for. So I'm going to choose each book as we go. I've picked out my first read, which I'll tell you about in a minute, but if I read something that's maybe like a YA thriller, I cannot then go and read another one. Or if I read a like domestic husband and wife style thriller, I can't read another one. So I'm just going to take the TBR for this video as we go, but I have no doubt there's going to be some fantastic picks. I'm literally not going to read a book unless I think it's going to be a 5-star. So before we dive into the first book of this video, I just want to let you guys know that I've set up memberships on my channel, which is extremely exciting. So if you would like to see my videos 24 hours in advance, have a hand in which books I read next or which books I post reviews for, always be in the know about my 5-star reads, and have your comments always be replied to, then you can join the membership below. And without further ado, the first book that I'm going to read is That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, and this is a YA thriller. I know. I have literally heard nothing but good things about this book. It is rated a 4.02 on Goodreads as well, and you know if it's rated over a 4-star, I mean, it's got some good go in that. I just really think I'm gonna like this, especially because I've been reading some really intricate thrillers recently. I think a lighter thriller is just what I need. So this follows a girl who wakes up on the side of the road in like a ditch. She doesn't know whether she's been in a car crash. She just doesn't know what's happened to her. So she's injured, she's got mud everywhere, and she cannot even remember her name. Never mind why she's there, what's happened to her, what's gonna happen next. And luckily a police officer comes along after maybe it's been reported, I'm not sure, and it takes her in, and the story starts from there. When she gets to the police station, someone comes to collect her claiming that they are her dad, but are they? I don't have a physical copy of this yet. I have ordered one, but for the meantime I'm reading it on my Kindle. So without further ado, I've ordered some Thai food for dinner, so I'm gonna go and have that and start my new read. Don't you just love starting a new book? Like, it is the best feeling. So I'm about 30% in and I am really enjoying it. Like, I completely get why people are saying it's easy to read, like it's just like a fun, enjoyable thriller. So aside from the point of view of our girl who wakes up on the side of the road and has no idea what's going on, there is also another point of view of, we think, her friends from school, but unconfirmed. And the main guy in that friendship group has 2 dads, and I am just literally loving the representation of that, especially since it's a YA book. It's just something that's making me really happy about it. And like, it's a really healthy family dynamic. That's why I'm so happy with the representation, because you've got one dad who he goes to for some things and one dad he goes to for other things, but like none of it gendered. Happiness. So it is YA, but it's reading more like new adult, like in the best way possible. Like, the writing is simple but not basic. I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm having a really good time with it, even compared to like the adult thriller novels I normally read. It's giving like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder in the more like sophisticated version of the writing, but less in a school setting, like barely any in a school setting, which that's also really working for me. So I'm gonna go and grab coffee now and then read a little bit more because I'm very much enjoying it. I am just reading this one on my Kindle, but I feel like I'm gonna maybe get the physical copy. This Kindle case even has a strap at the back. Very handy. I feel like there's been so much build up so far. Like, we're on like day 5 of what's happened to this girl after the crash and like the investigation, but I think it needs to pick up pace a little bit. So I'm driving now for about an hour, so I'm going to listen to the audio. I listened to a couple of chapters yesterday while I was in the car on audio as well, and I wasn't sure because some of the voices are obviously like of teenagers, and I was just a bit like, don't know. But now it's gotten really good, so I kind of need to know. Like, I want to know what happens. Do you know what gets me about these YA books? Is everything is just a little bit too convenient, you know? Just a little bit. So the teenagers that are looking into their friend's disappearance, one of them, their dad, just happens to be the sheriff. It's too easy, guys. It's too easy. But at the same time, while I'm saying all this, like, I am really enjoying it. Like, it's a breath of fresh air, this style of book. And recently I have read far too many like husband and wife gone wrong type thrillers. Like, one of them goes missing or one of them turns evil, and I guess like domestic thrillers, but I think it's getting a little bit repetitive at this point. So this like it almost feels like a different genre. So obviously like it's a missing person thriller, but since you're talking like to a different age demographic, like there's no detectives, like it's really landing for me. A thriller book's not made me this sad for a long time. Friends, I am home and armed with my coffee, as you have just seen. I literally hold my iced coffee in literally every video, so I was like, I'm going to show you what the drill is. So I'm enjoying That's Not My Name so much, I may have ordered a physical copy. I'm hoping it's this, I just assumed. Haha, of course it is. Delicious. So I've of course been reading on my Kindle and a little bit on audio, so I'm going to finish this physically. I now have the trophy, and then I'm gonna let you guys know what I think. I feel like this looks deceptively short. Like, it's a 300-page book. Maybe the text is small? What do we think? I also haven't mentioned in previous clips as well that some of these chapters are literally half a page. That's why we love YA. What was that? I honestly feel like if you want a thriller that's like really easy to digest, maybe you're in a slump, or maybe you just want something that's like quite quick and just goes from the start, this is definitely a book that I would recommend. Of course, this is a 5-star predictions vlog, so I did have really high hopes for this just because of how many people had rated it highly. But the ending, I mean, it also had like a lot more depth and fantastic characters than I expected from this book. I knew it was going to be really good, but I thought I was going to be more focused on the plot, but the characters were fantastic. So I am ending this on a 4.5. It was not quite a 5-star. I absolutely loved it, really enjoyed it, but the police side of this book, there was just a few plot holes which I just can't overlook to give this a 5-star. Like, they were quite shocking. Honestly, they were quite shocking. Like, I get it, I do understand, and obviously, like, at the end of the day, these are fiction books, like, they don't have to be super realistic, but the way the story unfolded from, like, the teenager's point of view, like, her friend's point of view, just, like, doing really smart things and just, like, making logical decisions, compared to, like, this full police team, and, like, detectives and sheriffs that just were like, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll look at that. Overall, really fast-paced, really enjoyed it, definitely would recommend, and a definitely unexpected ending in like a good and a bad way. So, next book. I was going to only read physical books in this vlog, but there's one that's like really caught my eye recently and I haven't managed to grab a copy, and also it's only out in hardback at the moment, so I was thinking this is a Kindle job. And it is Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. In the post part of my YouTube channel, I also asked you guys what you thought I should read next out of some books that I thought are going to all be 5 stars, and this was the winner by like a landslide. I don't think anyone voted for anything else. So this is Gillian McAllister's latest release. It came out a couple of months ago now. So this follows this married couple. They have a 9-month-old baby. Everything is absolutely fine, as it always is at the start of these books. And then one day this woman wakes up and she just hasn't heard from her husband. She's not sure where he is, just kind of lets it go. And then by the time she gets to work, he's on the news for taking people hostage. I haven't read any more about this book because I really do like to go in not really knowing where this is going to go, but I really like this author. She also wrote Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which I've read and loved. I also have Just Another Missing Person on my shelf to read, so I feel like I'm really going to get on with this author's writing style, and I'm going to dive in. Normally when I'm on the train, like I read a little bit, like not too much because of like the motion sickness, but today I've just read 27% of this book. I literally couldn't look away from it. Oh my god. Hello friends, I have spent most of the last couple of days travelling, which has been a great excuse to read. So I'm now at the 35% mark and I am absolutely loving this. I do really feel like it's going to be a 5-star. Like, so far it's a 5-star. So I've read basically 150 pages in almost one go, like in one day, which is quite unusual for me, especially like physically reading it and not using like the audio at all. So as I say, this is a very tense hostage situation, and the way this author's written this has been absolutely fantastic. I was genuinely on the train like flicking the pages like as quick as I possibly could. And then I've got home and read a little bit more whilst I've been in bed this evening, and I absolutely love that Gillian McAllister like plays with timelines and like plays with points of view. Like she's a little bit similar to Claire McIntosh in the way that she does that kind of like that real like jump start at like random parts of the book, and I feel like some people wouldn't enjoy that complete like narrative like 360 basically, but I absolutely live for it. So I'm going to be very careful in like the types of thing I'm saying whilst I'm reading this book, because like one small thing could probably ruin your experience, but I'm very much enjoying it. Going to read a little bit now before I sleep, and I'll keep you updated. So just before I finish Famous Last Words, I have some book mail that I want to share with you, which is extremely exciting. You can understand why in a minute. So I recently did a like most anticipated reads of the next few months video, and I was like going through them all, and I was thinking like I don't actually have a copy of any of these. Like I'm gonna have to wait for the release day on most of them. I think like one or two I may have had the digital copy of, and I thought, do you know what? I am going to reach out to the publishers and just say, like just on a whim, you know, just have like a spare lying around the office, and already like 3 or 4 of them have got back to me and said yes, which is, do you know, sometimes I have to pinch myself. Anyway, the first one has arrived, and it is The Wasp Trap by Mark Edwards. Oh, can we see? When they send out like these advanced copies, it's not normally the final cover. I think maybe so they can distinguish it, I don't know. Anyway, this sounds absolutely brilliant, and I've not read half as much Mark Edwards as I would have liked. Oh, so they have the final cover on the inside so you can see what you're looking for. And this follows a group of students who were at a college and decided they were going to like reinvent the online dating space, which sounds very exciting, but it was in 1999, so they, I guess, were maybe like a bit ahead of their time on that. It absolutely failed, tragic ending, etc. And then 25 years later, they've all been called to this like dinner party in the centre of London, and as there always is in thriller books, there is an unexpected guest. So I'm very excited to give this one a read. It comes out in July. And then next is such a curveball. Okay, so HarperCollins reached out to me and were like, can we send you this book? There is only 15 advanced copies that have gone out completely in total, and I've been very lucky to get one. It's a book called The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clark, and the concept is that this is an author or 2 authors writing under the pseudonym Evelyn Clark, and we don't know who they are. I'm not sure who exactly does know who they are, but us as the reader, we don't until, I'm assuming, the launch of this book. But there's nothing on Goodreads, there's nothing on Amazon, like there is no clues whatsoever. And it is basically a book that is written from different types of writers' points of view. I don't know, I'm very intrigued. So there's a letter at the front, which has come from the publishers themselves, so I think it's going to make more sense if I read like a tiny bit of this to you. So it says, and who you ask is Evelyn Clark. It is a pen name for 2 best-selling writers, both of whom have been published for more than a decade. They know how fickle the publishing gods can be, and both writers have some scores to settle. Their identities remain a mystery for now, but look closely and you might find a clue or two. Okay, I'm going to put my bets in for this when I read it. We're all in this industry because we love stories and the experience of sharing them with others. This book is that rare and brilliant thing. Kind regards, Publishing Director of HQ. And without further ado, back to Famous Last Words. Also guys, I forgot to tell you, I upgraded my little reading space a little bit, which is exciting. I got in fact, most of this is from Dunelm, including the chair, which I obviously already had. And then I got the cushion, which was just like a gorgeous, just like a little spring edition. And then I got this from Home Bargains, and when I bought it I thought it was just like a little cute tray, but it turns out it goes over the armrests, like these create tension. So it's just a good place to put my coffee, even though I have the whole TBR cart / side table as well. Done. I really enjoyed Famous Last Words. I think there's definitely some areas which I would have maybe like tweaked, but overall really enjoyed it. However, it wasn't a 5-star. I really did think it was going to be. I absolutely loved Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and this has been getting so many good reviews. I think I'm going to land on a 4 because the actual concept was really good. The first 100 or so pages were super fast paced, which I was just absolutely loving. Like page turned, read so much in one go. But then the pace kind of slowed a little bit and it went in a different direction than I thought it was going to. And also a lot of the twists were quite early on, so this didn't like finish on like a big reveal. There was a reveal around the 80 or 90% mark, which was good, but was kind of just like a part of the story style reveal, not like a what reveal? We're in a safe space here, you guys know what I mean. But I'm nothing if not critical. I like to give you guys my honest opinion. So even though I really enjoyed it, those would be like my picky points. But I'm definitely going to go and read more by Gillian McAllister now. I think she's a new author for me. The last 2 books of hers I've read, I've absolutely loved. So maybe a wrap up coming soon. And then this morning, a certain book came through my mailbox and I'm so excited, I can't even stop smiling. It is, of course, the new Andrea Mara book. This is coming out in like 2 weeks and I've been very lucky to get an advance copy. This is, of course, a paperback as well. Obviously it'll be out in hardback first and then paperback a little bit later down the line, but I've been talking about this author so much. She is so underrated. She's definitely gained a lot more popularity in the last couple of years with her more like recent releases. And I'm so excited to read it. If you are new to my channel and you're like, why is this girl like giggling about this book? The last 3 Andrea Mara books I've read, I've rated 4.5, 4.5, 5. So we're in a very good standing for this to be a great book. Hence why we're gonna just dive straight in and read it. I was thinking about some other books I could read next as like my 5-star prediction, and the timings aligned. Everything just worked, and I can guarantee you. So let's dive in. You're never gonna guess what's happened. I haven't even set the camera up properly yet. Okay, so I'm just reading my Andrea Mara, I'm like 60 pages in, the doorbell goes. Sorry? It appears I have accidentally been sent 2 copies, and you know what that means, don't you, lucky viewers? You're all saying, you're so lucky to get an advance copy, I want one, I want one. Well, now is your chance. If you're in the UK, as I will be obviously covering shipping myself, drop a comment below as to why I should send it you the new Andrea Mara, and I will absolutely send it to one of you. Happy days, I'm so excited I get to give out an extra copy. And before I get back to it, my thoughts so far are this is absolutely fabulous. I have a very, very strong feeling this is going to be a 5-star. We're only at page 62, so probably a bold statement, but I just love the setup of this author. Like, she is just brilliant. I feel like maybe saying she's underrated now is a bit of a stretch because I've been talking about her so much. I feel like she's probably no longer underrated. We are still at the like premise of the story, so this accidental WhatsApp message hasn't been sent and we're just dealing with like the initial repercussions of that. So back to it. Hello friends, it is currently 7:30 in the morning and I've been up for the last hour reading because this is so good. Also, excuse my voice, I feel like I'm maybe coming down with something again. So far, this is really reminding me of Everyone Here Is Lying by Shari LaPenna because it's like everyone is really in everyone's business. Like, there is no hiding in this fictitious town. But I will say this does feel slightly lower stakes than normal. So in the last couple of Andrea Mara books I've read, there's been like a missing person or missing child or etc, etc. In this, we have these texts which have caused absolute damage in the town, of course. There has been unalivings, but it's not like, I think the whole crux of it is like who's done the unalivings, but I'm not really sure where it's going to go after this. One thing I do love in Andrea Mara books though is there is quite a big cast of characters, but like she introduces them in a way that's like really easy to keep up. So it means there's a number of suspects and like a number of people you're thinking about instead of being like a really small pool. But I think it takes a really good author to do this right. Oh, I like this. Turning your ordinary fears into extraordinary. So I will see you very soon. If you're a fan of short chapters, yeah, this one's going to be for you. We love a queen that never disappoints. Andrea Mara, you have never failed me, ever. Guys, you're so not going to be disappointed with this. I am so glad that I vlogged reading this as well, because it's just one of those that when you get a new release from your favourite author, like, sometimes you just don't know. There's been a few authors recently, like Riley Sager, Frida McFadden, and their new releases we've got so excited for, and they've just been okay, like not really bad, but just mid. Queen. But I will caveat, I do think it's my least favourite book of hers so far. I'm going to explain why, but definitely it was not a bad book. It was a great 4-star solid thriller. I absolutely love in this book, and probably does apply to most of them, like she gets the story going so quickly, like you're just thrown in straight away. Like there's no messing around, there's no preamble. Like these texts that I told you about that the book kind of centres around are sent in like page 2. This is told from quite a few points of view, and I do think that having that in a thriller book, it can be a little bit hit or miss. It's got to be done so well, but I was not disappointed. The characters are introduced quite slowly in a way that you can like keep up with what's going on, but still get a good feel for them. They all had their own voice. So the crux of this was about almost the power of social media and also the ripple effect of like these really small decisions that we make in day-to-day life. It was a text, one text that just caused a whole town to erupt for different reasons because of like the actions it triggered. Like it wasn't as simple as, oh, there was a text and then someone wasn't alive. Oh no, what are we gonna do? It was like these really small things that you just wouldn't even think about, and then you just watched it unfold over 400 pages. I do think this was slightly more mystery than some of Andrea Mora's other books, than thriller directly. Of course, it is still categorized as a thriller, but I do feel like it was more of a slightly bordered on suspense. So in this 5-star predictions reading vlog, I have read 3 books. I first read That's Not My Name by Megan Lally and gave it a 4.5. This was a fantastic YA thriller that read more like new adult, had a very emotionally unexpected ending. Fantastic, would definitely recommend even if you don't read YA. And then I read Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister and I gave this 4 stars. I loved this as well. It was fantastic. I do feel like the first half was better than the second half, but would still a wholehearted recommend. And then finally I read It Should Have Been You, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. This was a 4-star from me. It is Andrea Mora's next release that is due out on the 8th of May in the UK, January 2026 for people in the US. If you're keen to get a copy, I'll leave a link below for an English bookshop that does ship to the US. Maybe sneaky, I don't know. So none of my 5-star predictions were accurate. I did intend this vlog to have some 5 stars, but nevertheless, I did read 3 fantastic thriller books, so you take what you can get. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you next time.